Trump signs an order blaming Biden and DEI for flight dangers. No. This can't be real. Like, I mean, this is, I'm sure this is real. Of course it's real. That's very Trump. But like, there's no way people actually believe this, right? I think stuff like this is going to lead to diminished results, because you can't constantly say, oh, this is a consequence of woke. This is a consequence of DEI. This is a consequence of woke DEI over and over again, and then expect people to go, yeah, that's right. That is probably what it is. Like, there's no, okay, I'm calling it now. I think they're exhausting it too much. They're hitting the woke. You have no idea what's coming, Unc. No, I think the average person is going to be like, all right, dude, come on. I think that you can only exhaust that for so long. People inevitably experience fatigue. When you have something like this, when you have an accident like this happen, that is a truly great tragedy, and you immediately hit the DEI button, other people are going to look at this and go, is it though? Come on, man. You say that about everything. And this is just the first instance. Oh, just you wait. You haven't played in long enough. He's going to start cooking. No, I know. Guys, I know. He is going to start cooking. Of course he's going to start cooking. It's Donald Trump. He's a narcissistic asshole. Of course he's going to start chirping about a bunch of different things. I already told you I didn't watch this yet, and I knew he was going to blame DEI. But my point is, the people's reception to crisis like this is inevitably going to lead to diminished results for the DEI vein that they keep tapping into. And it's not necessarily about like the faith I place on the people that vote for this guy. I just think that narratives like these are effective if you use them briefly. If you constantly say it over and over again, people get bored of it.
I put safety first. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first. And they put politics at a level that nobody's ever seen, because this was the lowest level. Their policy was horrible, and their politics was even worse. So as you know, last week, long before the crash, I signed an executive order restoring our highest standards for air traffic controllers and other important jobs throughout the country. So it was very interesting. About a week ago, almost upon entering office, I signed something last week that was an executive order, very powerful, on restoring the highest standards of air traffic controllers. And others, by the way. Then my administration will set the highest possible bar for aviation safety. We have to have our smartest people. It doesn't matter what they look like, how they speak, who they are. It matters intellect, talent, the word talent. They have to be talented, naturally talented geniuses. You can't have regular people doing that job. They won't be able to do it. But we'll restore faith in American air travel. I'll have more to say about that. I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them, they can be.
Yo, this is, okay. That's crazy. This is actually, like, remember, the Nazis also hated the disabled too. Like, that's crazy. They actually unironically are just like, yo, if you have any disability whatsoever, you. Like, what? That's crazy. Also, I feel like Donald Trump is kind of disabled himself. You know what I mean? Like, what's he talking about? These guys don't even care about being a part of the in-group. They just believe that if they say the right things, they'll be a part of the in-group.
Air traffic controllers, I don't think so. This was in January 14th, so that was a week before I entered office. They put a big push to put diversity into the FAA's program.
The ATC tower for this incident reportedly had 19 to the 30 staff say they needed for safe operation. That's the case for like ATC nationwide. Oh, I hate this. Our endless profit seeking and endless cost cutting initiatives are unironically making, like, it's just, it's making air travel less safe. It will ruin commerce. It will have major impacts. This is a problem that Ronald Reagan, I think, played a formative role in creating, and no president has really fixed it. Alexander, the implication that this policy is new or that stems from efforts that began under the Biden administration is demonstrably false.
The implication that this policy is new or that it stems from efforts that began under President Biden or the Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is demonstrably false. It's been on the FAA's
Who said
website.
That, you?
No, it's on the website, the FAA's website. It was there in 2013. It was there for the entirety.
What I read.
It was there for the entirety of your administration
nice
too. So my question is, why didn't you change the policy during your first administration?
I did change it. I changed the Obama policy, and we had a very good policy. And then Biden came in, and he changed it. And then when I came in 3 days ago, I signed a new order, bringing it to the highest level of intelligence. Okay.
It was on the website.
bro, does he think the executive orders are like God speaking? Like, do you think, does he think that executive orders have like magical powers? Yeah, dude, when you do a messaging bill, like a messaging executive order, it doesn't really change anything at all. Like the spending freeze was, that was consequential. But if you're like, we're gonna eliminate DEI from air traffic control, like they're not gonna fucking move to instantly fire every single air traffic controller that like is in a wheelchair. You know, I don't understand where this is coming from. RIP, that Trudeau's going to Gitmo. Sad. You know his ass forgot what being president was like when there's constant crisis. Like, he must have. He's like, oh, man. Day 8 of the Burger Reich, by the way. Day 7, massive plane crash. Massive aviation incident. 60 plus people instantly dead. This is just straightforward bad management. And in times like this, unfortunately, when it's far too late to recognize, some people will find out exactly what the government does, right? Some people will, albeit when it's far too late, find out that these sorts of issues, these sorts of moves, these jobs that are otherwise invisible are actually very important in maintaining safety. When you have the proper tools at the FAA, when you have air traffic control working, it's invisible, okay? It's invisible. So you don't even think about it. You only think about it. You only think about the ATC being understaffed when it no longer is invisible.
You need a very special talent and a very special genius to be able to do it. Targeted disabilities are those disabilities that the federal government, as a matter of policy, has identified for special emphasis in recruitment and hiring. The FAA's website states they include hearing, vision, missing extremities, partial paralysis.
An FAA employee I know confirms the agency already lacks sufficient air traffic controllers. This is hours before the crash, by the way. The so-called buyouts and other attacks on federal employees won't help. Remember that fact when flight delays, crashes commence, and Trumpers start falsely blaming DEI or Biden. And then it's like the Washington Times. FAA turned away qualified air traffic controllers based solely on race. From the editorial board of the Washington Times. That is literally an editorial piece from the Washington Times. It's no different than just like making up your own headline and then posting that as quote-unquote proof. It's so goddamn stupid, man.
Complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disability, psychiatric disability, and dwarfism all qualify for the position of a controller of airplanes pouring into our country, pouring into a little spot, a little dot on the map, a little runway. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan. Think of that. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel. I don't think so. I think it's just the opposite. The FAA website shows that the agency's guidance on diversity hiring were last updated on March 23rd of 22. They wanted to make it even more so. And then I came in and we took care of African Americans, Hispanic Americans. We took care of everybody at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's one of the reasons I won. But they actually came out with a directive to white. And we want the people that are competent. But now we mourn and we pray and would like to ask all Americans to join me in a moment of silence as we ask God to watch over those who have lost their lives and bring comfort to the loved ones. And I just want to say God bless everyone in this room. This has been a terrible, very short period of time. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Like, I'll give you a direct example, okay? Egg prices are supposed to go down. They don't go down. They get more expensive, right? You can't just keep saying it's DEI. At a certain point, people are going to be like, but you're the fucking president. Do you understand what I mean? Some people will turn around and say, oh, well, egg prices aren't going down because it's like has nothing to do with the president whatsoever. I just realized that, even though I didn't realize it under the Biden administration. But like, people will still experience the harm and will go, okay, well, my president's not doing anything. You can blame DEI over and over and over again, and it'll be effective for a lot of people. I'm sure Asmongold's community is like, hell yeah, even though it was a straight white airplane pilot, straight white helicopter pilot, straight white air traffic controller, straight white FAA administrator, fired by straight white president and straight white billionaires or whatever. Ultimately, it's actually the fault of woke, right? That some people in Asmongold's community probably eat this up. My point is, some people. I don't even think all people in Asmongold's community will eat this up. Do you see what I'm saying? Because like, it's too much. It's too much. Like, there's not a single like black or brown person involved in it, which most people don't give a shit about, right? But also outside of that, it's like, come on, dude, you literally say this about everything. At a certain point, even people who are believers committed to this cause are going to be like, like the JFK assassination only occurred because of DEI. It's like, no, there are certain things that transcend beyond that, and people want answers. And when you fucking slam the DEI piece onto it, when you hammered the DEI button over and over and over again, people are going to be like, okay, well, I'm with you, brother. I think that, we got to deport these migrants. And I don't think that I want a black pilot. I don't know. But like, maybe this wasn't DEI, Now, my expectation isn't that they will see that and then start engaging in critical thinking overnight and be like, maybe what else has Donald Trump actually misplaced the blame on DEI on? Like, they're not going to do that. Okay. But it's a starting point.